Hi, now we continue with the first. Oh gosh, I haven't done my nails polishment manicure properly yet. So we come to the first topic after the introduction. It's a crazy world. It's best to begin by just admitting that the world is crazy. The world really doesn't make sense. We are polluting ourselves into a corner. All of our natural systems are in decline. We are growing at a population rate that the earth may not be able to support. We act as though our resources will last forever instead of replenishing them and building a sustainable future. While programming has been made in nuclear disarmament, there are still tens of thousands of nuclear warheads on the planet, enough to kill each man, woman, and child 3 or 4 times. As few as 100 nuclear bombs exploding over cities could generate enough dark clouds to shut off our sunlight and doom all life on our planet. Hi, the listener. Who are you? You can say hi here, but I will keep reading for you. There is enough food produced throughout the world to provide sufficient calories for each person on the planet. However, hundreds of thousands of people died each year of starvation, and more than 1 billion people on our planet are significantly undernourished. Millions of people are suffering from diseases for which we have cures. As estimated, 700 million people are infected with parasite, roundworm, hookworm, and whipworm. Poverty-stricken countries can't afford to buy vaccines to prevent polio, measles, and yellow fever, or to distribute the drugs that fight tuberculosis. Oh gosh, I searched for this word for the pronunciation already, but I forgot. Hi, Mark. Who are you reading? Um, I am reading from Kent M. Keith from the book. Anyway, the Paradoxical Commandments. I think this is pronounced Milses. I just searched from Google and I forgot. Oh my goodness. Let me double search again. Can I do that? Let's see. Let's say here. Poverty-stricken countries can't afford to buy vaccines to prevent polio, measles, measles and yellow fever, or distribute the drug that fight tuberculosis or leprosy. Only 8 million of the 80 million children in poor countries have been immunized against diphtheria. Diphtheria. I forgot. Let me go back. Okay. Let me go back again. Poverty-stricken countries can't afford to buy vaccines to prevent polio, measles, and yellow fever, or to distribute the drugs that fight tuberculosis or leprosy. Only 8 million of the 80 million children in poor countries have been immunized against diphtheria, whooping cough, or tetanus. It is estimated that 25 million people in tropical countries have become blind from diseases that are preventable. The United States is the wealthiest nation in the world, but more than 11 million children are stuck below poverty level. From 1980 to 1990, the number of children under age 5 living below the poverty level increased by 23%. Oh, by the way, this book, the original one was written in 1968, and this version, anyway, the Paradoxical Commandment, Finding Personal Meaning in a Crazy World, that's been forward by Spencer Johnson, MD, was published in, let me see, 2001, so basically 20 years ago. So the number that you can see from here or read from here or listen from here is not updated. Anyway, we say the future depends on our children, but we don't spend a lot of time with them. The time that parents spend with their children is meaningful interaction is measured in minutes per day, while the time children spend watching television is measured in hours. We hope that our schools will do the job we aren't doing at home, but we pay school teachers a tiny percentage of what we pay professional athletes. We graduate hundreds of thousands of students each year who cannot read their own high school diplomas. We isolate our teenagers from the world, quarantining them in school buildings. We give them little responsibility and demand of them even less. By cutting them off from the adult world, where they could develop a sense of competence and belonging, we leave them alienated and open to joining gangs that will give them a sense of belonging. In the 1980s, it was estimated that more than 135,000 students in America carried a gun to school. Oh my goodness. The nation mourns when the alienation and weapons results in a killing spree on campus. We are litigious society. I don't know this word. Let me look it up. We are a litigious society. We file as many as 100 million lawsuits each year. Okay, I should go back so you can see it properly. We are a litigious society. We file as many as 100 million lawsuits each year. Some of these are filed by individuals who simply do not think they are responsible for their own actions. Even when they do wrong, they sue others and sometimes they get rich. Meanwhile, people who betray their spouses or children and people who murder, steal, take drugs, or commit outrageous acts become television talk show guests. Some make hundreds of thousands of dollars by writing books or selling their stories to TV, magazines, and the movies. We want our country to be built on merit. But who you know is often more important than what you know. We say we are for equality, but racial and ethnic minorities have had to fight for an equality that has not yet been attained. Yeah, that's true. It's so sad. Many people have turned away from the human value and have served all the generations that came before us. Some people have decided that all things are relative and subjective. They attribute no meaning to anything and then complain that life is empty and has no meaning. That's so sad. Yes, the world is crazy. If it doesn't make sense to you, you're right. It really doesn't make sense. The point is not to complain about it. The point is not to give up hope. The point is this: the world doesn't make sense, but you can make sense. You can find personal meaning. That's what this book is about. It's about finding personal meaning in a crazy world. And I think this part is important, is highlighted in almost red, his brown. So let me read it to you again to emphasize. Yes, the world is crazy. If it doesn't make sense to you, you're right. It really doesn't make sense. The point is not to complain about it. The point is not to give up hope. The point is this: the world doesn't make sense, but you can make sense. You can find personal meaning. That's what this book is about. It's about finding personal meaning in a crazy world. Because the world is crazy and you're not, you find personal meaning in a paradox. A paradox is an idea that is contrary to popular opinion, something that seems to contradict common sense and yet is true. This book is about 10 paradoxical commandments. If you can accept the paradoxical commandments, then you're free. You're free from the craziness of this world. The paradoxical commandments can be your personal declarations of independence. Independence. What? I forgot. Wait, where should I stress to? Okay. Because the world is crazy and you're not, you will find personal meaning in paradox. A paradox is an idea that is contrary to popular opinion, something that seems to contradict common sense and yet is true. This book is about 10 paradoxical commandments, and if you can accept the paradoxical commandments, then you are free. Sorry that I just reread this part, not this part. You are free from the craziness of this world. The paradoxical commandments can be your personal declaration of independence. Put them up on your wall as a reminder of your freedom. For the rest of your life, you can do what you believe is right and good and true because it makes sense to you. The paradoxical commandments are not morbid or pessimistic. If you do what is right and good and true, you will often be appreciated for your contributions. Okay, 13. But if you can find personal meaning without the world's applause, you're free. You're free to do what makes sense to you, whether or not author appreciated it. Whether author appreciate it. You are free to be who you really are. You are free to be who you were meant to be. You're free to find a meaning that others miss. And when you find that meaning, you will find a happiness deeper than any you have ever known. The paradoxical commandments are a call to meaning, a call to finding personal meaning in a crazy world. In this book, I will explore the meaning of the paradoxical commandments and then describe how to live the paradoxical life. Wow, it's good, isn't it? And yay, next time We will begin with the paradoxical commandments, and there will be 10 of them. Ta-da! That is a sneak peek. So I wish you could learn something, and I do agree that this world is crazy, but despite that, we have to do something that makes sense even the world doesn't make any sense. Thank you so much for, let me change the camera. Oh, how tired I look. My face, I look so oily, and it doesn't matter. It's not important at all, right? What is important is that I read something for you, and I hope that you can learn and think about this. Or yeah, I think it would be useful. As at first, I wanted to read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Make comment full screen. I don't know how to do that. Let me try. Let me comment full screen. I'm not good at live. And yeah, take care to you too, Mark. And I think, but because the 7 Habits is long, I wanted to start with something short, small, but important first. So, of course, after this book, it should be the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But as for the Little Prince, I think I will put it into another one, Fantasy English, because I want this channel to read something non-fiction, and then as for fiction, it should be somewhere else. Yeah, so I didn't finish Little Prince, and I deleted it. But if you think we can learn from it, or we could take a break, that is important, maybe I should come back to the Little Prince and start reading about it first, and then go to the 7 Habit. But the thing is, when I used to read the Little Prince, I cried, and that time I cried a bit. It's just kind of like, no, not that I was crying, but sobbing. Anyway, thank you for joining my live today. Have a great day. Bye bye.